start. Welcome once more to today's SPSS course. So my name is Praise Obioma, founder Analytics. So today I'll be taking you on importing data into SPSS and sample data sets. So let's go straight into it. So how do you get your data into SPSS? Let's assume you already have it in Excel, or you have it in CSV, or you have it in text format, or you have it from other softwares like maybe SQL and what have you. So how do you get data into SPSS? That is the aim of today's video. So I just opened my SPSS, is blank. Okay, I'm in the variable view, so the data view is very blank. So I have a data set here. I have a data set on my system here. So it's a CSV file, and I also have an Excel file. So let me just open the Excel file so you guys can see what the file looks like. So this is what it looks like, this data set. So let me see the CSV. Okay, the CSV still looks almost similar. So how do I get that data set into that data file into SPSS? Very simple. I go to file up here. I click on file. Then you see the option import data. So under this import data, this is where you can import any type of the supported data set that the ones that SPSS supports. So you have Cognos BI, just like Power BI. You have Cognos TM1, you have SYLK, because there are a lot of um, file formats and softwares out there. We have DBase, Stata, we have Lotus, we have SAS, we have text data, CSV data, and Excel data. Then under databases, we have here you can get maybe SQL data or whatsoever database you want to import your data from. So for this tutorial, we'll be using CSV and Excel. So you go to import Excel. If your data set is in an XLS file format, that's Excel, you click Excel. So this dialog box is going to appear and it's going to bring out only Excel data files, because on that file type here you have only Excel. So if it was on all files, so all files that are under this desktop, um, under this file folder desktop, is what's going to come up. But because we are under Excel, so it's just going to bring out on the Excel file folder. So this is the one I'm looking to import. So I'm going to click on open, then wait for it to load. Another dialog box should pop up. Then here I check remove leading spaces from string values. That's text values like names and all those text values, string values. Maybe they have spaces at the back. So this checking this box is going to remove all leading, okay, rather spaces at the front, rather leading spaces in that in the whole document. So we have remove trailing spaces, that's spaces at the back, right? So for string values. Now this percentage of value, that's this other three box that we are already ticked, says read variable names as the first rule of data. So if in your file format where you came from, the first rule was made up consist of variable names, so you can leave it as read variable names from the first rule. So let's check my Excel file. So if you notice, the first rule here, that's rule 1, was variable names, age, gender, and what have you. So I should have that ticked. So it's already ticked. So we have, it says percentage of value that determine data type. So Excel is a kind of an intelligent software that it uses a percentage of the data type, the data set, the data type rather, percentage of um, the data found in a particular variable column to determine what kind of data that type is in that variable column. What do I mean? Now, let's say for age, in a particular column, you have numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there are one or two string values here and there. But if majority is numbers, so it's going to assume that that column was meant to be numeric. So this 95% shows that if at least 95% of the data set there, this 95 here means is in percentage, because it says percentage of value that determine data type. So if 95% of the values contained in that particular column is numbers, so it's going to assume that that column is numeric. So if 95% of what is found in that column is string, it's going to also assume that that column is string value. So you can actually reduce this percentage if you want, but it's best to leave it at 95% as it is there. Then it says ignore hidden rows and columns. So if there are hidden rows like in Excel and other software, sometimes you can have hidden rows and hidden columns. So it's going to just ignore them as though they are not there. So after that, you click on OK, and then boom, your data is ready. So this is this is your data from Excel in SPSS. So let's do for CSV file is file format is still the same process. So let's repeat the process quickly. Now for CSV file, it's just the same thing. You load up your SPSS. It's loading. Please do well to see other videos we have in this series so that you can catch up with what we are doing. Thank you very much. So you go to files, import. So you go to CSV, then it filters out CSV file types, and then you pick the one that you are looking for and open. So the same dialog box that appeared the uh, for the Excel file will appear, something like that. So it says first line contains variable name. You That means the first line is variable name. So you give it. And it says remove leading spaces and remove trailing spaces. So delimiter between values. So that's what actually separated. CSV is comma separated values. So sorry. So delimiter between values is comma. So decimal symbol is period. So it's just same thing. Percentage that determine data type 95. Catch the data locally. So this is like for you to store the data um like catch memory, something like that. So okay, that's not a problem. Just click on OK. So okay, it says preserve, then I think execute. So this is your age, this is your gender, this is your everything. So your data is complete. Is here. So finally, let's look at sample data sets. So sample data sets are actually data sets that you can use to learn SPSS. So they come for free. They have various types of data um, um, data sets that you can use to practice SPSS, right? So, but the issue sometimes is finding them, finding those sample data sets. Because if you are using an older version of SPSS, I'm using version 27. If you are using an older version of SPSS, like 25 or thereabout. So when I was using 25, it was difficult for me to find. I didn't even know that there was something like that until one day I saw someone talking about it. Then I said, wow, this could have been helpful. This could have helped me a lot when I was learning SPSS. So how do you get to it? Now reboot this. Let's reboot SPSS. Right? So for upgraded versions of SPSS, like from 27, I think from 26 or 27 and above. So once you open SPSS, it's going to take you direct to there is a pop-up that is going to come out that is leading you to sample data set. So here you have it says restore points, recent files, that's recent files I just worked on, then sample files. So you can see a lot of sample data that you can use to learn SPSS, right? So I'm just going to open one. Now if you notice there are okay, all of them are now if you notice there are some that are SPS, there are some SAV, then let's check, check. Okay, then you can see there are some XLS, there are some text, so it's just the same thing that we've already talked about. Is to help you learn how to pull in such data into SPSS. Alright, and so on. So let me just choose any one at all. Let's choose the first one, accident, and click open. So maybe it's going to get and execute it. So this is the data set, sample data set accident. So there you have age category, you have gender, you have accident, you have population, population, if I'm correct. So here this is accident and population. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.